Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Tips, Tackle, Tactics, Tantrums and Throw Your Toys Out the Pram on a Tuesday here on That's On YouTube channel. And this week we're going to cover a series of generic news out there in the amazing angling world. A lot of it you'll be aware of, some of it you might not. And the beauty of that is that when you come here to watch this, there's well, a bit of something for everybody, isn't there? So, let's get straight into it. So the idea, every week on a Tuesday, might even do it on a different day as well at some point, or if between now and next Tuesday there's like an exclusive or something crazy happens, or somebody buries something under somebody else's fishery or whatever, I'll jump on and do like an exclusive where, like breaking news, if you will, and treat it that way. Because what's the point in me to, like, if something happens tonight after I put this video out, by the time I start talking about it next week, everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, we're not bothered. Yeah, we're not bothered. We already believe he did it, so we're not bothered. So the idea is that, like all you guys out there, you can just scroll away through your little tiny internet devices and come across the latest and greatest out there in the news anywhere in the world. And that is exactly what I do. That way no one can turn around and say, oh, he's lying. Although sometimes I'll put a post on screen somewhere here and it will say like everything, and I'll read it out for you guys as well. And I'll always get someone in comments saying, can't you read? Angling's back on Lido forever, hooray! And it's not, it's just a temporary reinstalment. Anyway, let's get into the first of this week's news. I say this week's, this is probably news from a bit back. However, I do think it's great how they've never gone anywhere, right? They've never disappeared. They've never made a comeback. However, I think it's quite clear to see that Van den Einde, the bait company, all your famous ground baits, the crazy, incredible quality ground baits that have been around for many, many years. Probably one of the first bait brands I used to see as a child when I used to walk into my local tackle shop, Chester Street Angling in Chesterfield or Legion. You're always faced with, because back then there were no Sonia baits and like this. Everyone's got a bait company now. Van den Einde, Dynamite Baits, they were like your top. They were ones you were faced with, if not the only ones on the shelf at the time, and bar a few others. And in recent times, Van den Einde seems to be making a bit of a comeback all over the place. I've also seen, and this is massive, like you can sponsor up big teams at World, you can bring out the best baits, but clothing is mega in fishing. And I don't know if you've seen, I'll try, if I can, I'll put a picture on the screen, but Van den Einde have been talking about doing some hoodies and some t-shirts, and because it's quite a prolific bait company, it's quite a good label to have, isn't it? I mean, even though we are thousands and thousands of miles away from some of the best basketball courts in the world, it feels quite special sometimes to wear a Lakers shirt, doesn't it? So Van den Einde are like the Lakers or the Chicago Bulls of the fishing world in the bait category. So yeah, Van den Einde are back, and here they have announced Van den Einde UK. Van den Einde sponsor Daiwa Tackle and Baits. Van den Einde are thrilled to be involved with a team of such driven, high-quality anglers. These Division 1 champions will be heading to the Club World Cup 2026, representing England. We are proud to be supporting them on their journey. Team captain Alex Bates said, we are thrilled to have Van den Einde backing us. Their ground baits have been integral to our success over the years, enhancing our confidence. The extensive range they offer is perfectly tailored to meet the demands of both local and national competitions. So Van den Einde, from a UK perspective, it's quite a bottleneck. Yeah, there's a lot of very popular bait companies in UK that sponsor some great anglers, and a lot of them. So Van den Einde, when they put the foot back in the door again, it is like they are, you know, everybody knows them. Yeah, they are the Michael Jordan of the bait world, and it's great to see them coming back. Lots of people have been using their stuff for years. This team right here, you know, they'll do great anyway. I know they will. But Van den Einde sponsoring a great team like that, maybe one day Van den Einde will start taking on some more individual anglers. We have got them already, by the way, just to name one of them. 5 times. Alan Scotthorne, his son, Oliver Scotthorne. Just those names alone are huge. So don't ever forget that the products do the talking, right? The names that wear them on their backs and the t-shirts and whatever, you know, it's not just, well, you don't see it on my shirt, do you? So it speaks volumes that people of that sort of calibre support a bait company like that, and they also support those anglers because, you know, they are pretty much a match made in heaven. Great anglers, great bait company, and it's a kind of a flyover of all your bait techs and Sonia baits and all that stuff. There's a lot out there. There's a massive web of bait sponsorships out there, but your Van den Eynde, you know, they do go over the top and pick out all the good ones. So if you're on top of your game and Van den Eynde drop a letter through the door, or you get a phone call on your internet device and it's them asking for a bit of marketing, then yeah, you're definitely doing something right. After a stellar 2025 of great results and performances, we at Van den Eynde wish you all the best with a very busy future ahead. And that is Daiwa Tackle and Baits. This is the team here. From what I know, great bunch of guys. I had to read through some comments on the original post. If you go over there, you'll be able to find the post. I think Tackle and Baits, they shared it as well. You'll be able to read through it, and yeah, everybody wishing them all the best of success, which is absolutely great. So yeah, Van den Eynde starting to back UK teams, which is huge. So look forward to more of that. Nice one. Another fish kill at a very popular reservoir, and this time it is back at the lovely Harthill Res, which is just there, right there outside this thing that I'm under. Fish dead. So I've had a few people messaging me. I've seen a post 2 or 3 weeks ago where somebody had, in fact, if you go to my last Harthill Res video before the one that went out the other day, there was a chap, I was just walking, and there was a chap walking over at footbridge between lakes 1 and 2, and he stopped me and he said, "Oh, do you work here? Are you out to do it?" And I says, "No, just like a bit of an angling journalist. What can I help you with?" And he said, "Oh, there's a few dead fish about. I've seen a few, but there's 2 over by the dam wall today. So is that normal? Is it a problem?" And no, it's not normal. Like anything dying is not normal. It's certainly unexpected, but it's not normal. So I said, "Oh, I'll go around and have a look," and I did. I managed to see the 2 dead fish you were talking about. That was probably 2-3 weeks ago. I can't remember when. You'd have to go to the video and have a look. About 2 weeks ago, I had a woman called Sue message me from Harthill, and she said, "Oh, I've seen 2 dead fish today." So I didn't think anything of it. I thought I acknowledge the message. I'll leave it, see if anything occurs, because if I go and act on something straight away, or go and film something, or turn up somewhere, the following week, or the following few days after, or the following month after, it might end up throwing up something completely different, which won't marry up to what my purpose is. So if I go down, "Oh, there's dead fish everywhere, there's 2 dead fish here," and that week after, I find out the day before that those fish were stocked in there. It's normal to have fish pass in after stocking through transportation and probably illnesses, diseases. It's quite a rough process getting fish from one area of the country to another and putting them in a lake, and it is just like fish bingo. You know, you don't know what's going to happen, and it can be quite traumatic for them. A lot of different stresses involved, a lot of different food requirements. What have they had compared to what they're getting? Harthill's not exactly thriving with food at the minute. It's full of overgrowth, which is great for fish, but if you take like pellet fed or protein fed fish from a farm and then go and chuck them in Harthill, they're not really going to know what's hit them. So putting them fish into an active fishery with lots of high protein baits, yeah, it makes sense. So I didn't want to go down all guns blazing until I'd waited for like a grace period, if you will. About 4 or 5 days passed and I heard nothing. Then a chap tagged me in a post about 2 or 3 more dead fish, and one was a skimmer down there. Skimmers had not been stocked purposely, so it could have gone in with cart. This is what people have told me, by the way. This is what, when I ask, "Oh, what's gone in?" Because no one tells us what's been stocked. They just go and do it when no one's looking and just say, "Oh, there's fish in there now." There could have been a skimmer in there, so that would make sense. Poorly skimmer. It's been shipped loads of miles in a container full of carp. yeah, quite a delicate fish, a skimmer, compared to big robust carp. So yeah, that'd make sense. So I thought, oh, go down and have a look. It was the day after somebody said, oh no, sorry. It was the day after I went to go and look back at the comment where I'd been tagged in it, and the guy that had tagged me in the post had removed his comment, so I couldn't see my name anymore. Because ideally, I wouldn't mind screenshotting that for this channel, so you can see people do actually get in touch with me. So I thought, well, I can't use that. You know, it's not credible. So I thought, I'll leave it, I'll hang on. And I did put a comment in there, and I said something like, any signs, any dead fish, or at least pollution anywhere that anyone's aware of? And no one said anything. It just kind of blew over, and that's it. The other day, I woke up to a message off a chap, not an angler, so it didn't matter, but not an angler. I didn't want to put his name anyway. I put it in the last video. He's gone down for a dog walk, and he's counted, I think he said 9 fish. Was it 9? 9 fish? Can't remember if it was 9 fish or not. So I thought, right, 9's quite a stressful number. These fish were stocked in like 3 months ago. I think it might have even been a bit longer than that. We're in December now. These fish were put in about 3 months ago. Yeah, you get your fish deaths after, and then it quietens down. You might get the odd 1 or 2 pop up, which to me did look like that kind of pattern happening, and then that's it. That's it, done. And then you'll get 1 die every now and again. You'll get whatever. But then last week, 9 fish, 9 dead fish. They're not going to be any of those 9 aren't going to be the same dead fish that died 2 weeks prior, because they would have rotted away. Water life would have eaten them. Birds would have had them. They would have sank, and honestly, they would have just corroded at the bankside and just turned to skeletons and gone away. Fish do dissolve back into the earth quite quickly. But 9 dead fish? So I thought, no, I'm going down. So I sent him a message and said, right, I'll be down in the morning. I want to go and have a look. I don't know who this person is. He didn't send me any pictures. He didn't send me any. I just took his word for it. I turn up, no one there. Perfect. I'll go and have a walk round. And then as I'm walking around, I saw a few new pegs they'd put in. So I thought, right, I can show you guys the new pegs they've put in. Anyway, straight from the off, I think I'd already counted 9 fish down wall. And this chap said he'd counted 9 whilst walking all the way around. It probably would have been more specific. He's trying to give me information. He's trying to let me know. He's trying to put that on me. He would have said there's 9 dead fish at the down wall. And if there were 1 more elsewhere, he'd have said, and seen it, he'd have said, and there's also 1 over there. By the time I get down there, they might all be up against the down wall, but there would be more than 9, yeah, because they would have drifted. That's where wind blows into, predominantly, most of the time. I counted 9, then 10, ended up counting 17 dead fish, 14 of them being carp, and the other 3 were little tiny roach, about big. Now, think of the influx of water we've had. I don't think roach have been stocked. That's not what when I've asked and people have told me what's gone in. Normally in a tantrum, it's just carp. Because the influx of water we've had over last month, that pond 3 at top, it does chuck fish over quite easily. That barrier that's there, when water presses up against it this time of year, or leaves block it, the water goes around the outside. Go back through previous videos and you'll actually see tons and tons of water volume pushing right outside of it. I've even rescued big pike and big carp after that's gone in. So, there's also a couple of roach in there, which could have been in there ages. There's always been a little bit of water in there, always. So they could have been in there ages. So, 17, well, 4, let's stick with carp, because they're what they've said's gone in, right? That's the important thing. They're all important, but that's the important thing. 14 dead carp, all ranging from, I'd say, 1 to 4 pound. The smallest one I saw was probably about a pound, probably just over. Rest of them, 2 to 4 pound in weight. A little 4 pound stocky like that it's not normal. They're quite a healthy, durable, really hard, like tough nut fish through transportation, everything. If they went in 3 months ago, those fish are fitter than ever right now. It's December. We've had close to minus temperatures, which is great for the fish. It's not common for fish to die in that large numbers after being stocked a few months ago. So it warranted me doing a video about it and just highlighting it to people. Luckily, I've seen comments where people have said it's completely normal for that many fish to die 3 months after being stocked. which not only blew my mind, but I also got, because I just took a back seat, I also got to see other people commenting saying, that's ridiculous. Like, no, fish shouldn't be dying. Probably get the water tested. Now, Chris, who runs the boating club down there, he nicest bloke in the world. Not always in agreement with what I say in my videos, because I take information from the horse's mouth wherever I can, whether it be workers down there, internet feeds, emails that I've had off people, officials. Sometimes I get told I'm wrong, and most of the time it turns out it's because they haven't been told the same up-to-date information I have already. I really do go out of my way to get the best I can so that it doesn't creep up on me later on. Chris did a water test down there because he's got a swimming club, a boating club, and an RC boating club, which sounds great. So he wanted to make sure, this fish dying, needs to test the water. Then I found out the tests that he could have had done for the water quality means it's safe for humans to be in. Now, there's a lot more delicacy in fish than there is humans. So that doesn't iron out any fish illness, disease, problems. No idea. You remember Morelands a few months back when someone accused him of having KHV? And Grant went absolutely mad, like, you dare come down here saying I've got KHV and this and that. And the guy didn't have facts. He just said, I think he said, it might be. But how he'd said it to someone else, it sounded like he was really pressing for that information to be spread. Probably like a disgruntled ex-customer or whatever. Turns out that in the end, the fishery did have KHV. I think they've overcome it now, because matches are running smoothly. But it turns out that they did. Now, Artil is spring fed. If somewhere further up's got a disease, it could have gone in. I don't think for a single second any fish with KHV after 3 months of being stocked would still be, I don't think they'd be dying now. I think it would have happened earlier. But, don't know. That's another part of the news, another talking point for all. Artil res, 14 dead carp, 17 dead fish, but 14 dead carp. I don't know. What's your views on it? My views, not a massive fan of that. Definitely something fishy going off there. Definitely something else needs testing in and around the place. Probably doing a KHV test or whatever just to make sure. But that isn't normal for me. So yes, Artil res, beginning of December. Not a big fish kill. It's not massive, is it? But 14 dead carp, 2 to 4 pound. Like, I'd say it's quite substantial. Anyway, what's next? Now, just recently, and I'm not doing this for clout, if somebody passes away in angling world and it's a name that I see a lot of, I'm not going to be one of these people that claims, unless it is someone that I know, I'm not going to stand there and be like, oh, nicest bloke in the world. And I've got a lot of respect for a lot of great anglers. And I hate seeing the news that someone's passed away, because fishing is sort of our only connection with a lot of people in our little fishing national community. And when you see a lot of names, quite a lot, put Bob Nudd up there, right? Bob's doing great, by the way. I think he's probably healthier than ever. He'll probably outlive most of us just because of who he is. But take Bob Nudd's name, for example. Now, if Bob fell over on his way back to car to go and pick his sandwich up during a match and broke his arm, that'd destroy me, that. I think that'd really hurt me. Knowing that a great name, a big name, someone I've looked up to for a long time, I don't know, he's like one of angling's fathers, isn't he? I think if something bad happened to him after all the great he's done, we kind of, it's like one of your superheroes has been hurt. It shouldn't be happening, and it's quite hard to digest that and process them feelings. But not on a smaller scale, there's some great anglers out there that are worlds in front of some of the best, right? It's just that some of the best have been the best at one genre for a long time, and others can do everything, right? But they're on smaller stages every time, yeah? Metaphorically. You get an angler like this chap who's recently passed away, who's local to here, fishes at Aston Park quite a lot. He's, I think they nicknamed him Clank or Clanky. Don't know the guy. I think I've said hey up to him once when I've walked past him at tackle shop. He probably doesn't even know I exist. If he does, he probably thinks I'm an arse. Always did well at Aston, always hands on up there, always made sure that he were involved in like work parties and stuff. Quite a big family. Sometimes I'll see match results. If he don't win it, he's in top 5 or he's framing or section wins, whatever. There's a couple with same surname as him, and I assume they're family members. So it's quite a difficult time for a lot of these people. It only dawned on me just how much of a great friend and family member this guy was when, sadly, recently, he's passed away. Now, not going to say his name. Don't think that's for me to say. I don't know him. But please know that if you all know exactly who I'm talking about, in fact, not quite, a very loved bloke at Aston Park Fisheries. I think he lived local. Always fished. Funny video of him falling in Trent. He sat on his seat box, and I think one of the legs went and he fell in. It was with Steve that day. And anyway, I'm waffling. Nicest bloke in the world, a huge friendship community around him, and a very, very good angler. And I think that me just mentioning this next bit, this is angling owing it to him, just in case some of you guys are interested. So let me read this to you. So a chap called Luke Stafford. Luke helped me get some of the carp out of the brook from Harthill during the first Harthill Reservoir disaster. Luke and another chap called Tanner were actually walking past. I'd just done my back here and I was trying my hardest to get some fish. Anyway, they ended up helping me get some fish miles away, back up to Harthill Res, and we put a bunch back in again. Luke actually got in this brook and we were sieving out. We got a massive roach, but sieving out loads of roach and everything. Luke, Alex, Jack, there's a bunch of them at Aston. Too many to name. This guy's best friends, right? Luke's put a post on about a match, and it's a Christmas match, 30th of December at Springvale Fisheries. He'd initially put on that it was going to be for 30 anglers, and I think now he's looking for 40 anglers or 45 anglers. So it was going to be a normal Christmas match anyway. Luke's put on, this started as a Christmas match, but I want to make this Christmas match a permanent memorial match for Clank at Springvale. So Clank's his nickname that everyone knows him by. Currently got 30 booked on, including Clank. So there's going to be a peg there for Clank himself, because he were booked on. You know, we're meant to be fishing the match, so they're going to honour a peg in his name. And we want to leave his peg in and do a tribute to the man himself. I want to open this up and get as many people there as possible. So if you're genuinely interested, please comment so I can get more pegs/lakes, depending on numbers. Also want to run a donation to his family from everyone who fishes the match to go towards funeral costs, which is massive. I can't stress this enough. When you've got a really strong community around you, someone passes away, you'll be very surprised at just how much a grieving family, because if you don't know the guy, it's, well, why should everyone be asking for money for his funeral? You know, because some people don't like it. Let me try and soften it for you so it's a bit easier to swallow. You never know, and I'm not saying they're in despair, but you never know that besides the monetary value that gets donated to him, right? For every pound, if you donate £1 to somebody towards funeral costs, forget the pound, it's another singular statistic that family knew that there's, so they probably don't even see the money in their heads, they see the names. It's one singular statistic to, wow, this guy really did have a lot of people around him that want to help us give him a really good send-off. Look at it that way, and then look at it this way as well. If you donate £1, if you donate nothing and just turn up and, I don't know, take a box of bow ties, I don't know, just anything that you claim would be a positive response to helping the family towards funeral costs in any way, shape or form, whether you can square away some cars or sort out a mode of transport, or if, I don't know, some of you great anglers out there might be full-time plumbers in your spare time. But your lass, well, she might be a dab hand at catering and filling up foil trays full of sandwiches for everyone. Just That's what matters. So forget the money, the donations for the money. It's all about helping out whoever we can. So I don't think I'll go. I don't really do any match fishing. I don't know the guy. I'm doing this on behalf of everyone that probably does, or everyone that will probably turn up because they want to help. If anything happens between now and then, I might go down and drop a fiver in. But my point is, for Clank to have a nice send-off, his family will know he's got some great supportive friends out there and a massive network. This is angling. It's not football. It's not cricket. This is fishing. Yeah? We don't run around a pitch hating somebody else for 90 minutes. We can sit between two guys absolutely smashing us up on next peg, and we can still go and buy them a drink after. So if you can help Springvale Fisheries on the 30th of December, get yourself there. If you want to make a donation, it helps towards growing statistics for the family to help pay for funeral costs, and they'll see just how many donations they can get will highlight just how much this guy was really loved in the angling world. Luke's actually he's put some bank details on there, sort code and account number. There's also PayPal on there with his email. If you want to make a donation that way, that's probably what I'll do. I might just make a small donation. Every pound, every £5, it can go a long way. So if you want to make a donation, I'll put stuff on screen here. I'll also put it in the description of the video. Luke Stafford is the guy that's arranging all this. If you're not got him on Facebook already and you want to ask him a question, he's not asked. He don't know I'm saying this. I guess there's no harm in dropping in on the guy. He's really down to earth, no worries. And yeah, rest in peace, Clank. Alicia, Alex, Sarah, everyone at Aston Park, your Steves, your Jacks, I'd have to go through all names. There's just 1,000,001 different names out there from Aston Park Fisheries, including Luke and everyone else. And if this is probably going to take place at Springvale, he's probably a popular name there as well. Yeah, to all you guys, massively sorry for your loss. I don't know how, but I think I've cheated my way through life enough now that I've not really lost anyone majorly close to me. So, I mean, I have, but in completely different circumstances. So, I don't know. You guys spend a lot of time next to each other on bank every day. You get to know each other better. I guess I've probably lost friends in a terrible way, but I've not known them for very long. So, yeah, just thoughts go out to you all, and hopefully this channel can be, or this video, or this segment in this video can be a stepping stone for anyone watching that wants to make a donation, whether you stay anonymous or whatever. You just want to send a quid over. This is my name. I wish them all the best, and and hearts go out to the family. If just one person makes a donation, completely bypass me here, that helps bring just a bit more support to family between you guys and this lovely guy's family. So, Clank, rest in peace. You have no idea who I am, but rest in peace. And hopefully this massive angling community that's going off, they'll have a great fishing match on 30th of December at Springvale. And your family will have loads of support in sorting your funeral out. So, yeah, tight lines. And who knows, I might draw a peg next year when I get up there. Next point, rivalry in tackle shop. I've also got another point to cover in a minute. I'll skim over this one, but rivalry in tackle shops shouldn't be a thing. And if at any point you're affiliated with a tackle shop or a manufacturer company or whatever, and you're leaving, whether it be on good or bad terms, but then you start and create your own journey knowing it could have a very negative impact on somebody else's journey already that's local, then I'm not a massive fan of that. Luckily, this post doesn't go into great detail about who it is, but I just want to highlight a post that they've put on, and I don't know where it is, but that's the beauty of it. This shouldn't really be happening anywhere. So there's a hair salon in Village down here, and let's say I see an open shop come up for lease next door, and I can put more chairs in it. It's more capable of the one that's already there of being a salon. And let's say I think, oh, I don't need to make millions of pounds. I probably don't need to make half as much as the small one does. Why don't I go and chuck an hair salon in that empty unit next door, cut all my costs, chuck loyalty cards everywhere, and poach everybody's customers? What's stopping me? Absolutely nothing. I can do that. It's very risky. You're going to get people that want to save a few quid that will give you their business. And you're also going to have loyal customers of the one already that are thinking about it. But then you will also have that small minority of people that are too loyal. No, not going there. I know what he's doing. I'm staying here. It's because that's not fair. That's not right. You know, that could end up shutting 2 businesses down in one village. And ideally, it should be regulated. We should be able to have certain catchment areas where you can have accounts for certain things, or you can have that business there. But whoever you end up leasing a building off or a shop front, they just care about the money up front, because without you being in there, you know, they're not making anything, and it's at cost. So this next post got me itching a little bit, and I'll read it to you. So, Parkfield Angling Centre. Important, please read. Unfortunately, there is a big elephant in the room that keeps rearing its head, and I feel I have no choice but to address it publicly. It has come to the point in which it is affecting staff members, myself included, in such a way that if it carries on, it's going to end up making us ill. So I am going to answer all the questions people have been asking, and hopefully, through this, it will put an end to the whispers and gossiping. So what has happened? Yes, one of our former employees is opening a tackle shop. Has there been a fallout? Yes. Unfortunately, the way said employee has gone about this has been particularly unsavoury. He is no longer a part of the Parkfield family and never will be. This is as much as details I'm prepared to go into publicly. Now, for the past few weeks, we have had several customers and friends of the shop come in and pledge their allegiance to Parkies, and as much as we appreciate the kind words, I feel that there is a simple message I myself and Team Parkies would like to relay to you all. Wherever you choose to do your angling shop in, we at Parkfield have and will always treat every customer the same. If you choose to shop here, whoever you are, and wherever you have shopped in the past, or choose to shop in the future, is of course entirely up to you, and we would under no circumstances ever treat anyone differently based on the above. We pride ourselves on good customer service for all that walk through our door. There is no judgment or prejudice here, ever. Myself and Team Parkies would like to carry on doing what we're doing and move on from the negativity that has surrounded this situation. Thanks, Luke. Luke at Parkfield Angling Centre. That is an incredible write-up. Me, I'd have been name-dropping, I'd have been putting an address in there, I'd have been making up rumours, I'd have been... Because no one really wants to write a message like this. So you've got a tackle shop or a business. Let's stick to a tackle shop. Somebody leaves on bad terms or not great terms. They go off and instantly they want war. They want to fight. Yeah, a bit like me with Artil, but I didn't have another reservoir to get, and I am bitter. I'll be straight. But I still walk around the place saying that some things are all right. Anyway, someone's left and they're setting up their own tackle shop. Yeah, they've probably got a good business head. They might even be, clued up on tackle trade. They might be able to get accounts with people. Just remember, for a tackle shop to be able to get accounts, like Dinsmore's, is Waterline still going? Waterline, because I ran line up to open a tackle shop a few years back, and I was going through who I could get accounts with. Now, back then I had Legion, I had Chester Street as short by I had Legion, I had Claycross Angling, there was another one local, they didn't have many accounts. There was Angling Direct at Dronfield, there was also one down in Belper, another one in Ripley. So the catchment area works as follows. I'm Preston Innovations, and you watching this, you want to open a tackle shop. There's no tackle shops in your area for a good few miles. Is that a safe option for me to put my brand in your shop? Yeah, possibly, because you've not got people travelling too far away, then they can come to you for it. So it makes sense to put it in your window. Let's say one of your employees, one of your employees leaves on good terms, or let's say he turns around and says to you, I'm going to leave, when I'm noticing, I'm going to open my own tackle shop, right? He leaves. Not a great idea for you, but professionally, what can you say? All right, wish you all the best, good luck, you'll be paid whatever's left and whenever, whatever. See you later. Let's say he opens a tackle shop 3 miles away from your shop. But before then, the nearest tackle shop from you was 10 miles away, or even 20, right? Let's say 10. You've then got Preston getting an email from that chap or a phone call. I want to have an account with you. Brilliant. What's your address? Give him address. Oh, nope. Can't have one with us. Why not? Well, you can't because there's one up road. So what is it you wanted? If you're wanting to open if you're too close to other shop, if you've got two shops, that's Parky's, that's your new one, and this one over here is the one 10 miles away. Well, without this one being here, it makes sense to put them in here because you've got customers from here close to that one and here close to this one, right? If you open another tackle shop and put it here, well, Preston, that would mean Preston putting their products in all three of these shops. So these customers now, they won't go to this one and they won't go to this one, they'll go to this one. What's that mean for these? It means Preston have now got stock on these shelves not selling. Yeah? Stay with me. That's just Preston. Your Preston account covers your Coram, Sonia Bates and Avid, right? Then you've got I know Midi's gone, but for example, Midi and 30 Plus. Then you've got Dinsmore's. Then you've got your Waterlines and your Matrix and all that stuff. You can't afford as a manufacturer to put all your tackle into so many shops, as many as you can. Because by the time we go through new releases, every year you'll have Preston, you'll have lots of companies doing quarterly releases or seasonal releases, whatever. There'll be stuff from 2022 still stuck on that guy's shelf that's brand new, that's never going to sell. And Preston, you can't send it back because what are they going to do with it? So this is why they have these catchment area limits when it comes to handing out accounts. So for this tackle shop Parky's, just remember, you're going to have someone opening up probably not far away. If he works at this one, he probably don't live far away. So if he's going to open his own, it would make sense for him to open his further this way. He's then got the risk of falling into a catchment area somewhere else, which means that he can't get an account. How does he get his stuff? Well, anything that doesn't sell from another shop, or he might go and order through them, which then, if Preston don't know about it, for example, and this guy's buying stock off someone else's shelf, great for the other tackle shop, he can pay off his account. But now you've got it in this shop, someone might go here and pick it up, which means there's going to be something left in this shop that's not going to sell. Yeah? That's why it makes sense to have your catchment areas. You can't just go throw in tackle shops wherever you like. In this business, you've got to stay loyal, and you've got to have that headspace where even if you fall out with someone on bad terms, you can severely be damaging the tackle trade by opening a tackle shop down the road. It's just not good. Second-hand stuff, that's a completely different market. I know top anglers who sell second-hand gear. You'll see up poles in it. None of these are for sale. Well, right money they might be. But they'll buy second-hand, sponsored anglers as well, by massive companies that aren't even brand that they sell in, and they'll sell stuff in their spare time. Why? Not to make a few quid. Not because they can cheap shot the local tackle shops. They do it because they've got quality used items that can help other anglers out at a good price. That's why they do it, and they all know that's why they do it. Matty Pillay, me and him aren't the bestest friends in the world. I'll tell you something now, if there are any awards out there for people who can shift quality used tackle on a regular basis, that guy posts about 12 items a day in about 73 different tackle selling page groups. So yeah, there's a market there for that. If you tackle shop with all these different accounts like North Knots Angling at Worksop, let's say you decided to start specialising in shifting second-hand goods, which will sell. They sell great. Everyone loves cheaper stuff that's good quality that they probably once had or never been able to, and now they can get it cheap. If they started doing that, well, that's not going to be great for their accounts because they need them to be selling all the new stuff. That's why you can't have a mix of the two. Unless you've got a bargain bucket with some old stuff in, you can shift a bit. You've got to be careful, yeah? So, parkies. Completely understand. I hope a lot of you guys understand what I'm saying. You've got to really be careful when it comes to opening a tackle shop and it's a grudge against somebody else. Just be mindful that if you go out there and open a tackle shop because you fell out with your boss and he's got a tackle shop, and let's say you do manage to get an account or you're buying tackle from, all you're doing is you're making the entire situation worse for yourself. That's what you're doing. It won't be long until people start wising up to who you are, what you've done, where you've come from, and then you'll lose more customers than you ever thought you could, and they won't come back. They'll want to come and stay. Normally, loyalty is highlighted within the first error that someone makes or the first mistake. Yeah. So all you're doing is when you do lose your customers, not only will they go back to where they knew they were going to be looked after, they will never leave that tackle shop again. They will never go anywhere else ever. So if you're one of those people, just don't do it. It's a ridiculous thing to do. Get it second-hand trade. Buy second-hand bulks. There's a couple of people that do it. Buy second-hand bulks and aim at forcing it out there at a good price. Make some profit, but at a good price, nice and cheap, quality stuff that's not knackered, to kids and people that are getting new into sport or someone that's desperate for a pole because they've crunched theirs, and do it that way. Stay away from opening tackle shops and just trying to better someone else, right? So, yes, parkies, or I don't know where this tackle shop is, by the way, but if any of your customers see this, I hope to Allah that they all stay loyal to you, and I know exactly how that must feel. It can't be nice. When I went to open my tackle shop years ago in Chesterfield Town Centre, the big building that it was going to be in, I already had a business in there. When somebody come to me and somebody says, you wanted to open a tackle shop, I didn't have it on my agenda at that point. It was just something I'd said to someone about an ambition years before. They said that in one of their empty units that were on their wish list to have a tackle shop. I was like, oh, right, brilliant, yeah. I'll tell you what then, yeah, I'll do it. Because I've got my cafe in here, I can have a tackle shop outside, and I can chuck staff in that. And it was me who then approached a few different companies, and they said, you're probably going to struggle because we've got Legion, we've got this. I never opened a tackle shop. I never advanced towards doing one anywhere else. Naturally, as a human being in angling, I knew straight away that's not going to be right. Not doing that. Not going to be fair. Imagine me falling out with Legion. Yeah, so no, not doing it. Left it. And what you're doing there is you're leaving these tackle shops customers shopping at those tackle shops. It's all right poaching customers for a few extra quid, but you know, what's that going to get you? And at the time, based on probably what I'd be looking at earning my projections, you can go and work 4.5, 5 nights a week doing 6 hours a night at B&Q in a warehouse for probably double the money you'd see back in a tackle shop in that area. So it didn't make any sense. So yeah, completely with you on that. If anyone's sour out there and they're leaving a tackle business or a tackle shop to go and start their own, and you know it's going to be a bit customer poachy, just know where your bread's buttered, people. Remember who looks after you. Remember who's got connections with your warranty departments and who's got straight dial-ups to manufacturers when you need it and you need spare parts, or you crunch a section or an eye snaps off. Just remember who's going to look after you, yeah? Like these big competition firms. It might be great winning a nice pole for next to nothing. Well, I say next to nothing. You won it for 20p that day, but you've just spent 4.5 grand trying to win your £1,000 pole. First time something happens to that pole, you can't go back to those and say, like, you know, my pole's broke. Not to do with us, we just raffle it off. So remember where your loyalties lie, people. Last week on the news video, a few comments were put on there, but a comment was put on there, and it reads as follows. Next episode, I'd like to hear your take on lakes closing for fishing and turning into wild swimming venues. Poole Bridge in York, Cudmore, and a few others. Unless day tickets go up significantly, we'll lose a lot more venues. 100% correct. Harthill, which is just here, is an active fishery, and you can sit fishing whilst people are swimming in front of you. It sounds mad and it sounds dangerous, but look at it this way. You can't pause a swimming club because you're fishing, and you also can't pause a day's fishing because it's swimming. They just combine the two. There's plenty of depth. They're never going to tread bottom there anyway and get involved with your line and all that stuff. It's not dangerous either. But you imagine if, let's say, chap who owns swimming club, he turns around and says he's got the say on what happens next. He can ban fishing. Let's say he bans fishing and turns it into just a swimming venue. Well, that's mental. Because let's say he took receipt of the revenue from it as well. He'd be losing out on a lot of money. You're probably going to make more money from fishing than you are swimming. In all the times I've been down there, I think I've seen 3 or 4 swimming sessions going off. I bet I've fished it 20 times at Artill. So yeah, you'd have to be a bit mental to stop the income alone, right? But yes, these big local authority ran venues or small ones that pause fishing because they want to make it a more community diversity arena, and they want swimming on there. I think it's mental. It's the equivalent of getting Wembley Stadium. Is that a football pitch? Is it a football pitch, Wembley? Is it tennis? Is that Wimbledon? It's like getting Wembley Stadium, football pitch, and turning it into allotments, because that's what you want. Yeah, it's great. Like, yeah, strawberries and carrots and all that. But one football match probably make you 200 grand in revenue. 8 football matches a month. What you're going to charge everybody 15 quid a month to have an allotment plot on there between 30p. Doesn't make sense. See what I'm saying? It don't make sense money-wise. And I have to say money-wise because they have to be run as a business for them to be successful. So you wouldn't cut the business out. You'd make sure if you do anything, to actually keep it functioning really healthily. But then, from angling, the angling side of things, why would you take away angling's angling's one of the biggest participant entry sports in the world. There's more anglers than there is football fans. I think more anglers purchase day tickets and an amalgamation of day tickets and fishing licenses than people purchase season tickets for football matches, which is crazy. So you think of that, that's a big number going. So no, you should never take anywhere like the place in York, Cudmore stopping fishing. Is that the commercial fishery? Stopping fishing, turn it into not all the whole place, surely. Get in comments, let me know. Surely it's not the whole place to turn it into a swimmery. Because that would be mental. Cudmore's a popular venue. I still think Fishmania should either be at Ayfield or it should be on Circular Lake at Cudmore. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I don't know, I did. Anyway. So yeah, if you think pausing angling anywhere or stopping it completely to turn it into a wild swimming venue, you are off your head. The thought of getting your ankle caught on someone's feeder rig or getting hooked by a treble, yeah, sounds a bit mental. You won't want to clash those two. But at the same time, you can dive in anywhere and get impaled by a shopping trolley handle or something. So no, I completely agree with that. It's absolutely mad. If you think of the kickback effect that has on angling, just sport alone and leisure, you'd never do that. So no, I think it's ridiculous. Anyone out there that turns their venues into, you can just do it. The thing is, it's so easy to do both. 6 days a week, you're not going to have swimming clubs turn up wanting to come swim in your pond, are you? So it don't make any sense to pause both, because then, like, naturally, you're not going to see many people swimming through winter. You don't see many people swimming at all in the warmest parts of the year, but you're not going to see many people swimming at winter. You will get matches selling out in winter, fishing matches. So even if you dropped your days down to like 3 or 4 days a week fishing, and other days you left it open if anyone ever turned up to go swimming, then they can turn up and go swimming. I don't see issue with that. But yeah, stopping it, so it's just the swimming. Now, there's more to it than that. Eventually, they're going to turn around and say angling was stopped for swimmers. There were no interest in swimming after a period of time. Angling won't even be reconsidered. And then all of a sudden, it'll become a biodiversity hub like they wanted Wingworth Lido to be. And that's it, it's gone. It's now a nature reserve and it's never coming back. So no, fight against those if you can. Protests, all that stuff. You've seen what happened with Lido. At the minute, there is a temporary reinstalment of fishing rights going back in. Hopefully one day it becomes permanent, but no, as of yet, it's only temporary. So don't let them take your fisheries from you. Make sure you fight it back, yeah? Or at least combine the two, come up with an amalgamation working together, because that way you can end up promoting more business than you ever thought before. Last thing I want to touch on is, every week I always try and put a little bit of support out there. One thing I wanted to touch on this week, I'm not going to because it's somebody else's son and he's a kid. And if at one point it's all right for me to talk about it, I will do, but there's a match angler out there and his son he's got a popular YouTube channel, goes all over catching carp. He's a really outgoing young lad. He proper loves his fishing. He's proper Yorkshire as well. And yeah, he's a really enthusiastic kid. And his dad's a very popular match angler. Very, very good at his game. Fishes all over the place. Very big name and also a very big YouTube channel as well. So I'm not going to dive in by plugging these people yet because I don't want to use it as a stepping stone, and I think I accidentally will do. But I've read a comment recently, and I might touch on it next week. I'll do a bit more digging and see what gets said. But this kid's been putting some videos out. He must only be about 13 years old. He might be older, he might be younger, but he comes across about 13 years old, this kid. He's only a young lad. Really outgoing, really enthusiastic. And I read a comment where some grown men had actually been giving him a bit of abuse in his comment section, or sent him a message. I don't know how, but they'd managed to make contact with him and they'd been a bit negative towards him and his efforts at his passion and what he wants to do. That, as a kid, right, as an adult, it can throw you off. People will quit. People will just stop, right? And to you, that's easy. If you're one of these people that likes abusing people when they're doing great, that's easy, right? And you might think that's rich for me to say, but I don't attack anyone that's not attacked me before, right? And I also, anyone that I don't get on with very well in angling, I guarantee there's not a single person out there that I can't give credit to and give the flowers to for their achievements. Some people who I really don't get on with in fishing, who, one, I'm not scared to talk about, and two, most of them have done, nearly all of them have done way better than I have in anything fishing related. So it's always a clash of opinions. It's not based on hatred or anything. There's no one out there that I hate, put it that way. I have opponents in life, not enemies. Yeah, the enemies are in very hot places that way. So just remember that I don't have enemies. I have opponents, and sometimes in the right circumstances, some of the people that I've really gone loggerheads with bad in the past, we've ended up becoming very good friends, and I've always got their back. Whenever I see them getting in feuds online or anything like that, I'm always there helping them out, because you get to know somebody better through a very dark, dramatic time than you do somebody being friendly towards you. Yeah. Anyway, this young kid, he's actually been approached by some adults, and I think I read a comment and it said that they're actually, they're quite high up match anglers as well, grown adults, and they were giving him a bit of crap for what he's doing. Not good, not a fan of that. And that young kid, if you ever see this, and I'm talking about you now when I'm not actually saying your name, or people know who I'm talking about, just know that when you get shot at like that, or when you get someone who's trying to pull you down for no reason whatsoever, it is jealousy, right? It is jealousy. It's people that can't do what you do, and people are absolutely petrified. If they are better than you at the minute, they're petrified of you, 13 years old, at 20 years old, being 500 times the successful angler that they could ever dream of in the 40s and 50s, where they are now. So if you do ever get contact from someone and someone's trying to be combative against you and pull you down for saying things or trying things and just being new and doing your best, get out and do it again, but do it twice. And then when you get another comment off somebody or another message, someone trying to pull you down for something, take the skeleton out of the comment of what they're saying, get the point they're trying to get at, and go and do it 20 times on 30 different videos and make a point. Yeah? That no matter how many times somebody tries to pull you down for something that you're trying to do, especially as a kid, kids remember everything. We forget things as adults, we just let things blow over. Kids remember you grinding them in summer 1993 because you'd find sweet wrappers under the pillow. They remember that. But you know when they in the 20s and you turn around and say, oh, can you bring my lawnmower back? Yeah, you borrowed it the other week. Oh, I didn't know I borrowed it. They'll remember sweet wrappers from 15 years ago, but they won't remember lawnmower from last week. Kids remember everything. Kids, if anyone you see this, or if anyone out there has got kids that are really enthusiastic and really trying to get into that world of content creating, YouTube and all that stuff, someone tries pulling you down, drag them down with you, yeah? Go and do it again. If someone says something horrible, don't respond. One of the biggest things people hate is people not responding, because that's what they're doing it for. They're trying to get a reaction from you. Give them a reaction that made them comment in the first place, yeah? If they don't like something you're doing, go and do it again. Go and do it twice. Go and do it 4 times. Just keep doing it. Don't stop. That's the important thing. And this is a bit of a clip of a chap who I've stumbled across on YouTube. I don't know him, don't know his name. And I'll just chuck a couple of seconds in here now on this bit, on this video, and I'll talk you through my similar issue with the same topic.
You're not a content creator. Stop pretending to be one. Nobody wants to watch you. I'm getting close to 10,000 followers on TikTok. That magical number that we all want to hit. But there's only one thing stopping me. Me. And I still don't know what to say because I'm still sort of overthinking it. One thing that we don't tend to portray or put out on a social media as content creators.
Now, his name's the Angling Giant on TikTok. He might be on Facebook. There's a lot of people out there that I've got on Facebook and I don't know him. They might go by a different name. I don't know who you are. I don't know you. And it is just plain ignorance. But that is a mentality of mine that I rely on quite a lot. Ignorance, and I don't mean like I'll never talk to you or I'll just completely leave you on unread or whatever. I spend a lot of my life trying to block out stuff or naturally just sit there and just let it happen. Because I hate a setback. I don't like a setback. And this guy, he talks about in this little video, and he's a great guy. I've been to his channel, but this guy's searching for 10,000 10,000 followers on TikTok, right? He's got 7,000 something, so he's not far off. He's doing really well. I'm not trying to petty the guy either. 7,000 is a lot of followers on TikTok in fishing, right? It's big. So he's put a post on, and someone's at some point, people have said it to me, and I don't call myself a content creator. I have to say it to people sometimes because that's the only way they'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not a YouTuber. If kids ever stop me, which happens quite a lot, because they'll see me with a camera on and fishing, they'll straight away they'll say, "Are you a YouTuber?" And I'll be like, "I am, yeah." "Oh, do you want to be one?" "Yeah, I do. You go for it. When you're older, tell your mum you want a camera for your 13th birthday and make YouTube videos. Do it." So I always go, but if no one ever, I'm never going to a pub. But if I were in a pub and someone said, "Oh, you're a YouTuber, aren't you?" 100% no. I don't think you're a YouTuber until you've hit like 1 million subscribers. Yeah, I watch quite a lot of people on YouTube daily, like mainly car stuff in America. Millions and millions of subscribers. So yeah, if you've got 1 million subscribers, you're probably a YouTuber. However, some of you might say I am. Some of you might say that someone with 20 subscribers is a YouTuber because they make YouTube videos, they put it on YouTube, they are a YouTuber. That's what they do. Fair enough. Go for it. If that's what you think, by all means. So this guy, he's had a run-in with comments where they're saying, "You're not a content creator, you're not this, you're not that." And anxiety and a few other challenges of really like, that can really get to you, that. Because if you believe that's what you want to be and you believe that's where you're going, a bit of negativity can really set you back. And it has done with me in the past. However, I never realised how much enjoyment was in fighting back. Someone gives me grief, someone calls me out, someone calls me a name. I will go 100% to whatever lengths are possible to dissolve that issue. I'm not bothered, right? I don't care, yeah? This guy is just on a quest to do his fishing, film away, puts out some great content, really like educational stuff as well. For anyone, it's not just kids getting into fishing, there's bloody adults everywhere wanting to take up fishing. This is one of the sort of people they'll come across on TikTok and they'll learn from it. Because he's not some bloke sat on a peg with 15 cameras all pointing at him, covered in bait sponsors, talking about how great a feeder is because there are a slow-mo of him casting out, a slow-mo of him lifting up, and then a slow-mo of him holding a skimmer, talking about how you should go out and spend all this money on this tackle and you can catch this skimmer as well. That's not how we do it, yeah? There's a market for that. But people like this guy, Angling Giant, that make content that's fun, it's educational, it's humorous, different league to what I do. He's just getting, but he just wants to be passionate about what he's doing. Guy wants to just get out content. He wants to just post stuff, get some views. He wants people to see his efforts. He wants people to. He wants his. You know, he wants his armory to fill up with support because that'll help him mentally fight the anxiety issues that he has. Because he does say in the video he suffers with anxiety. There's a lot of things that come with that. You can end up in a very dark place very quickly in life if you don't tackle anxiety and mental strains and stuff. So for anyone to turn around to a kid and say, oh, you're rubbish at what you're doing, and stay away from that water, and don't do this, and you're ruining this, and you're doing that, that could cripple a young kid. It could also cripple some of those adults that are just doing this because, like, if this guy, I imagine at some point someone's getting him a bit of an opinion about being a content creator. If you film the postman walking down the street and post it on YouTube, you've created content. That's content that you've created it. Without you, it wouldn't exist. You created it. You've put it out there. If you make a video with a bit of background music, a bit of B-roll, a bit of dramatic scenery, probably a few filters, you're catching fish, talking about what you're doing, where you are, where you're at, where you're going next week, how you got here, what bait you're using, what tackles you're... That is a content creator, yeah? So there's one extreme to another. This guy is a content creator, yeah? People would say I am. I will never in it for that. But that is what he is. So it is what we are. We're content creators. So anyone out there that's pulling people down that are doing the best. By the way, if anyone ever turns around and says you can talk with some of the stuff I've seen you say to people, whoa. I can watch 50 people comment on someone's post and say, like, happy birthday, mate. And I'll be like, oh, do you know what? I think he's all right as well. Happy birthday, pal. I've had people come down on me like a ton of bricks before. Oh, you off YouTube, and oh, you do this, and you say that, and yeah. Happy birthday again. I'm not bothered. Like, I don't care. But some people, it can really grind on them. I'm not the voice of angling, but I will be the voice that you never hear if no one else says it. That is who I am. That is what I've always been. No one likes it. Don't like it. Yeah. Next time, leave the room or cover your ears. I'm going to say it. I don't care. Because if I don't, the odds are someone else won't say it, or someone else will say it and try and butter it up in a way that it shouldn't be. That's why I say what I say. That's why majority of the time I get a lot of negative outlook on what I do. This guy, nicest guy in the world. So anyone that's on TikTok, I don't know if he's got a YouTube channel actually. Anyone that's on TikTok, go and give this guy a follow. I don't follow many people on TikTok, but I've gone and give him a follow. I've had a quick flick through his videos. Really nice guy, really nice chap. Acer, James Duffy, I think you lot know him as Big Duff's Fishing. Again, they've just got that intermediate appearance, haven't they? They've just got that. People want to watch them. There's a market. There's an audience of people out there for those people, and it is quite a swollen one. This guy is exactly the same. So if you're into that sort of content, Angling Giant is definitely somebody you need to have on your follow list as well, because he is just a really genuine guy. And anyone, but there's a lot of people out there who I don't know in angling. I see people give people grief on some posts on Facebook. I ain't scared. Someone starts giving someone some grief, and I'm a fan of them, and I respect them for what they do. And they're genuine, and they never hurt anyone, and they're just here to give everyone a good time. If I see somebody deliberately trying to attack them, completely against the rules of engagement, he's having banter, he's having fun, he's having a personal spat with somebody. But some people just attack people because they're better than them, and I don't think that's fair. I openly go straight on war zone and start kicking off with people because it's just not fair. So, the Angling Giant on TikTok, go and give him a follow. If you see this, mate, I did comment on your post, no, you replied. Mate, I suffer really bad with anxiety quite a lot. Not a day goes by where I feel absolutely worthless or useless. I've got missus at home, got kids, got an house, just had a baby. I do a lot of fishing, do a lot of this stuff. I've got a lot of distractions. I've got a lot of motorbikes outside that I work on a lot. I've got a shed for absolute tat. I go in there every now and again. I've got this thing here. I come in here and just waffle. Absolute nonsense. Well, it's nonsense. It's quite factual. It's quite truthful. You are not on your own, mate. There is people out there that have got millions of subscribers that suffer as well. Don't ever think that you're on your own suffering, right? Just talk. If you're ever in a position where things are getting to you and you've got writer's block and you just sat there in front of the camera and you just can't do it, just carry on. You can edit all bad stuff out after. Yeah, just keep going, make something. If you sat downstairs and it's been 2 days since you've made a video and you can't get out because weather's bad and everything's climbing on top of you and Christmas is coming and someone's birthday's coming up and cars go flat tire and dog needs going to vets and whatever, and you've just got a few hours where everything's getting on top of you, mate, get up in your loft or your shed or wherever your office is, get your camera turned on and just talk. Yeah, just talk and you will get through it. I promise you'll get through it. That's how I do it. It might not work for you, but it works for me. And no one's life is perfect, mate. And that goes for anyone watching this. Anyone that's suffering, anyone that finds daily life just challenging. Quite easy for you guys to get quite irritable over people that are doing quite well. Yeah, I'm not doing well. I'm not great. Like, don't get me wrong, life could be a lot worse compared to some of the places I've been in past. Like, yeah, I am on top of the world. I really am. But you know, when it comes to reality, we're not all doing absolutely great. So when you think somebody is and you want to try and pull them down, just remember that they might be creating content. They might have to hide that personality that they are struggling with whilst they try and put on a good face for you guys. When you start giving a young kid or anyone some grief for trying to do what they're doing, just remember they're doing that to try and combat the struggles that they've got. So you might want to say something horrible about something they're doing, but the bigger picture behind them is, you know, they might be going through a really tough time. If you create content, you're a content creator. If you're a young kid and you're getting into fishing and you're better than all adults, just accept it. Just get up, move, and let him sit in your chair. And if you're a tackle shop and you've got an employee leaving and he's going to set up his own thing, remember, your customers sit with you first. Even if he does it cheaper, they come to you first. Guys, that's been it. Tips, tackle, tactics, tantrums, and throw your toys out the pram on a Tuesday. This has been all the latest and greatest angling news. There's also a couple of points I want to touch on next week. I might shoehorn them in between now and then. But get in comments, talk away. Any links to anything you're involved in, any fisheries doing anything they shouldn't be? Is there any tackle shops out there going bust? I'll tell you what, another thing, I did post on Facebook and nobody ever sees it, but any tackle shops out there that have had fallen victim to theft, or they've got CCTV stills or even videos, or anyone stealing from their shop, and a lot of tackle shops put out every now and again, like, oh, if anyone sees this guy who's robbed 3 reels from us today, I want you guys, even if you're not the shop, but you've seen a post, because I ain't got every shop on Facebook, there's millions of them. I want you to get the picture and the write-up and just, or screenshot it and send it to me on Messenger on Facebook or whatever, and I'll put it into this video and hopefully get a wider spread of awareness being raised for people. A lot of times people are stealing from tackle shops. They're not from that immediate area. They've gone to an area, there's a tackle shop, they've gone in, stolen it, and they actually live 200 miles away. They're just down there on work, or they've gone to a fishery nearby, which is 80 miles from where they live. They've gone to a local tackle shop, some bait, and they've stolen something from you. So get in comments, get in Messenger, give me some tackle shops if you see this. Don't be afraid. I won't name you if you don't want me to name you, whatever. But the shop itself and the actual suspect, just drop it in a message, and I'll chuck it on this channel. And the more it sits here and people watch it every week, the more that someone might be like, oh, I know him. You know, he stole from my shop, and I actually find out who he were. So, yeah, let me know. People, it's been lovely. Thank you all for watching. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. It's completely free of charge. A lot of people think you have to pay. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. It just means that any future content I post, like this video now, I've got another one coming out in a few days that's been put on. If you subscribe, when you go back on YouTube in a few days, if you've not watched that video, it'll be there ready and waiting for you. It just comes up on your screen. And then you just press tap, press like, press share. Give me some comments. Mate, you're amazing. Best content creator in the world. And yeah, it's completely free, so don't ever think you have to pay. Some people think when you press subscribe, it's going to ask you for details and your mum's address and your dog's brother's uncle's name. It doesn't do that. So yeah, hit the subscribe button. Helps me out, and it helps keep you guys in the queue for more. And lastly, comments. Talk away. You've got a fishery that's been turned into a biodiversity hub, or they're kicking anglers off so somebody can go swimming. Are you a content creator that's really suffering, or are you somebody that's always wanted to do it and you've never been able to because this up here and what you think people think is attacking you? Get in comments and talk away. I'll even try my best to try and help some of you guys out. I'm not the best person in the world for giving you advice on becoming a YouTuber, by the way. I've got a few subscribers. I love doing this, but I can help you through some little struggles that I've had. And who knows, it might work for you. And lastly, I'll just finish on. My mate, Teeth and Lure, I bumped into him pike fishing at Ully a few weeks back. I'll put a link in the description for his latest video. Clumber Park is now closed because of bird flu, but before that kicked in, he managed to get down there and film a video fishing for pike. Not everyone's a pike angler. I'm just giving another YouTuber some credit. That guy casts a lure out anywhere and catches a pike. I've said to him, you can catch a pike from a wet sponge. He's gone down Clumber and he's absolutely bagged up, and he's had some nice big ones as well. So keep you guys in check for when it does open again, because we are now in pike season. Hopefully bird flu passes. It's affecting everywhere at the minute. I see swans dying every day all over Facebook. Yeah, get it in the description, follow the link, give him a subscribe, whatever. Like, the guy is doing really well with his channel, and better yet, the catch rate he's putting out there doesn't warrant the small audience he's actually getting. He's making videos catching fish that, you know, it makes me think, you know, what am I doing wrong? So yeah, Teeth and Lure, bit of a pike angler, mainly lure fishing. He's absolutely nailing it. And I know not everyone's into that. I'm not into that. But the other day, where was it? I actually went with a cheap rod challenge doing lure fishing, and I caught pike myself, and it's really enjoyable. So anyway, this has been the news this week. Thank you all for watching. See you next Tuesday.